When Patel was installed as chief of staff to the acting secretary of defense just after the 2020 election, Mark Milley, who of course was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, advised him to not break the law. Quote, life looks really from behind bars, Milley reportedly told Patel. When Trump entertained naming Patel deputy director of the FBI, Attorney General Bill Barr, again, another Trump loyalist, confronted the White House chief of staff and said, quote, over my dead body. When in the final weeks of the administration, Trump planned to name Patel deputy director of the CIA, Gina Haspel, the head of the CIA, threatened to resign.
Well, I think it's safe to say that Trump's people that still had a slight allegiance to their job to serve the country aren't too thrilled about his choice to run the FBI. So, like with most of Trump's cabinet picks, it's up to Republican senators to determine just how much they're willing to accept when the standard that he's setting is based in pure loyalty to his promise of politically driven revenge over being busted. But shows like Morning Joe may not realize that their warnings sometimes make people root for Patel's insanity simply because of their connection to the establishment. Reminding everyone of the obvious fact that Patel isn't qualified won't go very far considering we just voted in a former president that showed us just how unqualified he was for 4 years. They've simply convinced enough people that because their rhetoric was about dismantling the ruling class, that Donald Trump and his band of wealthy people focused on collecting more of our money isn't a part of that ruling class. All that's left is to highlight the many times that they'll break their thinly veiled promise of populism. It's odd that more people aren't pointing this out, that one of the many reasons that Americans have always had a negative view of the FBI and CIA is because of their shady past, where certain Americans were targeted and terrorized under the guise of justice. Steve Bannon, Trump, and Patel have led the way in promising similar energies once they're back in power, just with the promise that they'll change it, when it's exactly what they're promising. Enough Americans have shifted to a new normal in considering the MAGA screed as something based in reality. They really do believe that his entire cabinet was simply full of disgruntled employees that they previously fawned over until they didn't do his bidding. They'd never believed that any Democratic official's entire staff openly turned on them and warned the country of the dangerous plans that they want to carry out, that they were simply disgruntled. They wouldn't think that. So MAGA controls the narrative that the election was stolen, that the government was full of swamp-like anti-Trumpers from top to bottom, and that the Justice Department was weaponized against him. It allows them cover when it becomes clear that all those accusations are the standards that they represent, all the way down to the weaponization of our law enforcement agencies.